Your kid is struggling in math, but you're not quite sure, like, is it a specific area they're struggling in? Is it the entire grade level that they need help with? The only way to truly know is to take a test. I know, like, we don't want our kids being tested all the time. That's one of the problems we have with the public school system, but I am a huge advocate for what's called diagnostic testing. Diagnostic meaning diagnosing the areas in which they need help. I have lots of videos that show you different diagnostic tests you can choose from. IXL, it's an online program. You pay monthly for it, but you can just pay for the first month, take the diagnostic test, and then cancel. You can also use the MAP test. That's what I just did all those videos on recently with my own kids. I don't really care for the reporting system, but it will still give you some good information about where your kid's struggling. And then my favorite is the Iowa assessment, like Iowa, like the state. It's called the Iowa assessment. That gives really good feedback. I will be taking that test with my kids very soon and showing you all the results. I do have videos on here of last year's test as well. There are tons of options, but all this to say that when your kid sits down and they take this assessment, it's going to test them on their grade level, right? And then when you get the report back, it's going to say, okay, your kid was really, really strong in second grade telling time, but they really, really struggled in second grade addition and subtraction. Then it's up to you, whether you're homeschooling or if your kid is in a public or private school and maybe they just need like a little after school tutoring or whatever, you can use these diagnostic results to kind of guide what you're going to do next. You can share them with your kid's teacher as well. Hopefully they're already doing diagnostic assessments, but you never know. Now, assuming that you're homeschooling, do you go back an entire grade level? Like, let's say that your kid really struggled in second grade, just full out. That's what happened with my daughter. I personally think it would actually be harder to go through a curriculum and try to pick out the areas that your kid was struggling. Like, let's say you know your kid needs to go back to first grade math, but it's really because they struggled with telling time and counting money. So you go and you buy a first grade curriculum, and then you're going to pull out all the money and telling time lessons. You have to remember a lot of curriculums are spiral based, which means they're going to include a lot of review as well. So it's going to be really hard to be able to just like pick and choose specific things, but you can totally do it. I personally think it would be easier to just buy the entire first grade curriculum and then just go really fast through the parts that they've already mastered. This is what we did with my daughter. So I backed her up an entire grade level, but we flew through it because like she already was really strong in addition and subtraction, but she really needed help with telling time. So we didn't skip the addition and subtraction because I felt like the review was good for her, but she was able to go faster through that. And then we could go a little slower on the parts that she needed help with, like the telling time. But don't forget too, that even when you take a diagnostic assessment, it is not going to be able to ask them enough questions to truly gauge if they've mastered a concept. Like, your kid could get lucky. It's a multiple choice test. They could get lucky answering the telling time questions correctly, even though they really struggle in that area. So what's interesting is when we went back the entire grade level and we went back to first grade math, even though her test scores showed me that she really just struggled with like telling time and counting money, as we were going back and doing the first grade curriculum over again, I started noticing other areas that she really wasn't that strong in. So it was the best decision we ever made, going back an entire grade level, doing first grade math over again. And I'm getting ready to share her end of year assessment results with you all. Her math scores were like off the chart, considering that we had to go back an entire grade level. It's just one of those areas where you as the parent, you kind of have to discern for yourself to do what's right for your own family. But I am a huge advocate for doing the diagnostic testing, really pinpointing where they need the help, going back. Maybe you're not even going to go back one grade level. Maybe you need to go back 2 or 3 grade levels, whatever. You do what you got to do to fill in those gaps.